Family, family, family. We have a show for you tonight, a broadcast. This is going to be epic, featuring our esteemed brother, Jeff Noble. But I'm looking forward to this because last night we was covering the energy systems under the tutelage of Master Yao. Tonight it's going to get even deeper with the noble touch and talking about the different types of touch because it goes beyond just the skin, family. It goes beyond the skin. So let's just do a quick opening and let's get started. And then we're going to bring on our featured guest momentarily. So let's do it.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids.
Family, I want to thank you for joining us. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to experience some amazing insights, things you've never heard before with our featured guests tonight. In the comments, let us know where you're listening from. Also, if you have questions, put them in the comments because we appreciate your energy, your words, your sacred sounds of power in the form of comments. We are energy. This is why I love this kind of topic because we are energy and energy cannot be created or destroyed. You are sparks. We are sparks of eternity. And tonight we're going to get into some touch upon the mechanics of our nature, that we are more than just our body. So upon the shoulders of our ancestors, we carry our being and fulfill our purpose. So we have to thank and invite our ancestors, your ancestors, just to say thank you. So we thank and invite Yeshua, Mary of Magdalene. We thank and invite Lady Buddha, Lady Krishna, Krishna. We thank and invite Black Madonna, Mother Mary. We thank and invite Set, Asar, Imhotep, Ptahhotep, Akhenaten. We thank and invite Saint Germain, Ascended Masters. We thank and invite Archangel Michael to always surround and protect all our family, friends, and loved ones. And family, like they always say your grace before you eat, say your prayers before you walk out your door, because there's too many parasitic hijackings happening near and far. Men and women, children, we need protection. We thank and invite Enoch, the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron, Elijah, Melchizedek. We thank and invite Nikolai Tesla. We thank and invite Sanat Kumara, South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa. We thank and invite El Haj Malik El Shabazz. We thank and invite Marcus Mosaic Garvey, Frederick Douglass, P.B. Randolph, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Kalindi. We thank and invite Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune, Ida B. Wells. We thank and invite White Buffalo Calf Woman. We thank and invite Tahuti. We thank and invite all the ascended masters who help humanity rise to shine and leave job well done through the halls of time. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our brother Jeff Noble. And let me move on down here. I'm going to give it up. We're going to do the applause, Jack. Welcome, Jeff.
Are those real people?
Oh yeah, more real than some of them down here. Angela, where's your face? We also got Angela, a beautiful Scorpio, who's going to join us tonight. They're even bringing in the sirens in case things get a little crazy, family. They're going to be listening in. So thank you. Already you got comments. Sandra from Austin, Texas. No, this is Sandra. Intentions. Peace, family. We got folks from Canada, Vancouver, Canada. Thank you for joining us. Makeda. We got folks, Sandra Intentions say, tuning in from Hamden, Connecticut. Peace, love, and light. Ashe. We got Sign Persona saying, family, peace, let's get it. You got Kenyatta, Labaya, Lambi, Mercedes, Balloon Lady from Jamaica, New York. They're saying, Sign Persona, welcome to our house, and we're going to move in. So, Jeff, who in the world for the first time, those who ever seen who you are, who's this brother named Jeff Noble? Let me fall back a little bit.
Well, you know, a God is a funny dude. And what I mean by that is
I drink to that.
God don't call the prepared. He prepared those who he called. I never thought or knew that I would be doing what I'm doing right now.
Awesome.
I was very successful in business. Went on a trip with one of our teachers, Del Pay, to India. And in India, I got in a fight with God. And it was like a 4-hour fight. It was the first time since the trip to India that I was left in a room alone. My roommate decided he didn't want a roommate anymore. They didn't come get me for the meditations that night. I was just in the room alone. And that's when God spoke to me, and God told me at that time he wanted me to quit what I was doing. And I had a 6-figure job, and I have been trained by the best teachers in the world for what it is that I do, and that he wanted me to dedicate my life to this. Now, when you're making 6 figures, someone says do healing the rest of your life, you just can't see the mathematics of it. The math just ain't mathing, because you don't see a way to make more money doing healing work at that time, $75 a session. You know how many sessions I had to do to get to 6 figures?
Yeah, that's math there.
To get to over $250,000, you know how many sessions that is?
That's a lot.
Right. And so I fought with God for 4 years. I did the rope-a-dope. For 4 hours, did the rope-a-dope, try to sneak punch him and everything else. I made every excuse in the world not to do this work. And God just was very quiet and said, I need you to cut off all your hair. I'm like, you done lost your freaking mind. And he said, no, I need you to cut off all your hair. And I'm saying, why? And for each part of my body that I cut hair off, he explained to me why I was doing it. Wow. And I tried to call one of my friends, not a friend, it's someone I know that has a nice bald head. It's always nice and clean. And I was saying, well, God, I need to call, his name is, I can't think of his name right now. But I said, I need to call Vernon. I need to call Vernon to find out how did he get his hair so clean. And God said, no, you ain't gonna call nobody. You got to figure it out. And I said, well, why? And God's answer was simply that in this new walk you're going to take, there are going to be times that you don't know where you're going or what you're going to do. And when you're cutting your hair and you're shaving when you're first learning, you go back and you kind of feel to make sure you got all the spots, to go back and shave to make sure you get all the spots. And
you got one of them heads that you can get shaved, man. Because give us a left profile, man. It looks like your head is perfectly round, like a bowling ball, man.
No, it was.
It was?
Yeah.
My head, man, I got a Frankenstein kind of head, man. It just goes up and then it goes flat and then it does some weird convolutions, man. I don't know if I could do the ball thing. I'll be looking strange.
But you'll get used to it, just like I did. But anyway, so God and I had this fight, and God told me to cut off here under my arms, my mustache, my head, my private area, and everything else. And the thing that I thought was the most fascinating to me, that was the most challenging also, was cutting the hair in the private area, because that hair starts to itch when you cut it off.
That right, man. I only did that one time, brother. I ain't did it since.
Well, you know, but for God, it was a test, because he told me I'm going to be tempted to go back to my old ways, to go back into making money again, as opposed to staying with my gift, which is healing and teaching.
Wow.
And so he's told me that I cannot scratch it no matter what happens, no matter how much it itch, I cannot scratch. And believe me, there were days I wanted to scratch. But
man, that's rough, man.
I did not scratch. You know, I was about to lose my home. I had the marshal at my door, everything else. My wife and I broke up because I came back. I didn't say this part. I came back on a Tuesday, quit my job on a Friday with about $16 million in the pipeline. That's not money. I would not have made $16 million. Just be clear on that. But I probably would have made about $20,000 off of it. That's all. But still, I walked away from all that. So I came in on Tuesday, left my job on Friday, and about a year later, I was kind of struggling. So it was like he humbled me to start all over again.
Wow.
And now 15 years later, I have the Noble Touch. We've gone all over. We've done work on 6 continents already. We went to Senegal, worked with 209 people there.
Wow.
As you know, I won the White House Lifetime Achievement Award under the Biden's administration.
Hold on, you did that? You did that? We got to give you applause again, brother. Hold on a second. We'll give you a big applause. You need more than an applause. You need a gong. Hold on. Yeah.
I've become a best-selling author on Amazon in 23 different categories. For one book, it's 23 different categories. I became number 1. And the Noble Touch is an amazing group of people. It's amazing. Wow. So, like I said, I didn't know that I was going to be doing this work full time, because I didn't see I could make money doing it. But we celebrated our 15th year anniversary last year. Sister Susan Taylor from Essence Magazine was asked to be our chairman, our honorary chairman, which she was. So we're just moving, man. We moving, we rocking, and things are just starting to take off now. We're gonna really take off now. So awesome, I appreciate you inviting me to come on your show to talk about Stop, Drop, and Roll, and talk about other things, because you and I go way back. So it's a lot of stuff we can talk about.
I want to say thank you. God bless Chowakuk Sui. God bless. Thank you to Del Pay, because pranic healing is next level. If you into Reiki, family, and like saying, I'm a Reiki master, well, humble yourself and become a pranic healing student. Angela, welcome to Magnets, Crystals, Pyramids.
Thank you. This is a really interesting show.
Why you say that?
The title, the host, everything is really amazing. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So what you about? How you know this brother over here named Jeff?
Well, according to my brother Marcus, he's one of the friends that I stole from my brother. He said, how do all my friends end up being your best friends? How does that happen?
Wow.
Wow. But yes, my brother is a very studious person who really believes in expertise. He's a martial artist, and he admired Jeff. He said Jeff was a really strong martial artist and a very strong person. So he admired his strength. He said, that guy is like, wow. And so when I met Jeff, I was like, oh, you're Jeff Noble. I was walking by the Y, and he introduced himself, and I said, yeah, my brother's spoken about you. So we became friends. I'm always interested in enlightenment, elevation, higher mind, and my brother is too. And so we attract people that do that, and we align with people who are about that. And Jeff is really the top person in my life who's consistently about that and giving it to other people, which is really different, you know.
That's
Yeah.
very well said, Angela.
Yeah.
Because, we grow up, we're not given any kind of instruction manual.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about touch until one day while I was a little kid in a diaper. I realized while I was trying to climb the sliding board, I got touched all right. Pow! Ooh, I felt this warm sensation go all over me. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And then I've learned through like a ping pong ball bouncing off of experiences of life. There's different levels of touch, and I'm throwing the ball now back to you, Jeff. What is touch, and how many different expressions of touch are there?
I don't think that there is any number that you can count, because touch is, for most people, aren't even aware of the touch. Most people aren't even aware of touch, because you can.
I gotta gong that now. Hold on, bro. And you also deserve a bounce on that. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff. Tell us about that, man.
Well, the fact of the matter, if we are one, like we say we are, then we're all touching all the time. You're in touch with. I mean, if I took my remote control for the car to open the car door, and you stood in front of me, and I pressed it, the car door is going to still open. So that beam you can't see touched you, went through you, and opened my car door.
Ooh.
So no matter what happens, we're swimming in a world full of a soup of touch that we're not aware of it. You cannot avoid touch. It's a matter of how you're being touched, whether you're aware of touch and how you're touching other people. But just the fact that we're communicating right now is a form of touch. Touch doesn't have to be. Most people they kind of limit touch to the tactile touch. There are lots of ways to touch people. Anytime I'm speaking to anyone, I'm touching them. Prayer is touch.
What about gossip? Is gossip a form of touch? I know it might not be healthy.
Yes, it is. Gossip is a form of touch.
Because folks love some gossip, boy. Oh my goodness. It's like a twisted touch. You can feel it like, who's twisting my wrist? And I ain't got nobody in here with me. That's them touching gossipers, boy. I've learned about them too. And you got to focus this, Jeff, to teenagers, young adolescents, because there's so many. Go ahead, keep going, brother. There's so many more touch that you're going to touch on. Go ahead. Oh, pun intended.
Well, there is the touch that teenagers have also, but there's a touch that adults have. The touch is not that different. It really isn't. What's a grown-up? A grown-up is just a fully developed, quote unquote, developed adult. It's nothing more but the child that's just grown up, because they have the same habits based on how they were touched, based on how the teachers touched them. I don't mean physically, based on how a pastor may have touched them, based on how a priest may have touched them, based on how their friends may have touched them. There's impossible to live in this world and not be affected by touch. And once again, I'm not talking about physical touch. I'm talking about energetic touch, which is much more powerful in some ways than physical touch. When you think about those rituals they use a lot of times to cast spells, that's all touch. Because they're good ritual, and then you'll feel it later on. I've had people come to me talking about someone put a mojo on them. They never saw the person, but they knew it happened because they felt
that's right.
They felt the experience of the touch. They felt the result of the touch. So there's no one way to talk about touch, because touch is all over, all the time, in everyone, whether you know it or not. Empaths are people who can really feel people's energy very easily, and they take it on. That's touch without them touching anyone.
I am glad we're having this conversation, because I think we can be inspired. Music can touch us. Tell us about music, brother.
Music does touch us. Everything is frequency and vibration. Same thing with music. If you look at a musician, when he's in his state, they're in another world. If you look at a musician when they're really playing, they don't even seem to be present in the moment. They seem to be somewhere else because they're being touched by the spirit of God who's leading them through playing that instrument in the way they're doing it. Right. Or the spirit of whoever they may have invoked for. You know, so it's just impossible, man, to not to be touched in one way or the other.
You know, there's and I should pull it up because there's folks that may have never seen this before. Adam Clayton Powell had a famous speech.
What's in my hand, young man? What's in your hand, young man?
Yes, what's in your hands? I'm going to pull that up because we need to remember what's in your hands. Adam, here it is, right here. I'm gonna pull this up, brother. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Let me give me a second. I think this is right in sync with what you're saying. What's in your hands? Family, this is Adam Clayton Powell Jr. saying, what's in your hands? And this needs to be heard.
A young slave boy stood one day before the greatest ruler of his day. And God said to Moses, what's in your hand? And Moses said, Lord, only I've got a stick, that's all. He said, well, let me use what's in your hand. And God used that slave boy with a stick in his hand to divide the Red Seas, march through a wilderness, bring water out of rocks, manna from heaven, and bring his people to Freedom Land. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? George Washington Carver, who was so frail that he was traded for a broken-down horse as a slave boy. And George Washington Carver, sitting in the science laboratory at Tuskegee, told me, he said, Dr. Powell, he said, I just go out in the fields each morning at 5 o'clock, and I let God guide me. And I bring back these little things and work them with my laboratory. And that man did more to revolutionize the agricultural science of peanuts and of cotton and sweet potato than any other human being in the field of agricultural science. What's in your hand? Just let God use you, that's all. What's in your hand? I've got a string in my hand, that's all, and I'm flying a kite. And way up in the heavens, lightning strikes it. And I, Benjamin Franklin, discover for the first time the possibilities of electricity with a string in my hand. I haven't got anything in my hand but an old quill pen, but God says, write what I tell you to write. Paul wrote, I have run my race with patience. I've finished my course. I've kept the faith.
Yeah, I had to bring him up. Special acknowledgement to Adam Clayton Powell Jr. because what you speaking of, Jeff, inspired me to drop that on it. Tell us about what do you help people with their hands, brother? What do you teach?
Well, the question is, why don't we let God use us? That's the question. It's not only what's in your hand, because what's in your hand is not going to do anything unless your mind is right. So the question for me is what's in your mind? Because your mind will put your hands to work once the mind is right once again. The problem is that we were born to win and conditioned to lose.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
We were born to win and conditioned to lose. If you think about a child, when a child is born, that child has everything already coded and loaded in that child to create the life that that child wants for itself. And when that child's learning to, when you put a baby down in the beginning, they're usually on their back. And after a while, that baby will learn to turn over by themselves to be on their stomach. Before you know it, they learn that they be scoot and they scoot and they scoot. So after a while, they can crawl, they can move forward in the crib or wherever they are on the floor. That's all physics. That's all physics. Making tiny adjustments, muscular adjustments, to be able to turn over and then to be able to crawl. Then the baby begins, and everybody and all parents are like real excited when these things happen. My baby's full, my baby. They get real excited about it. And then after a while, the baby starts trying to pull up. It'll grab him, try to pull up and stand up, and it's real shaky and fall back down. But no one says, you little idiot, stop it. You're not going to do it. You're a failure. You'll never learn to walk. No one says that. We encourage them to walk. So after a while, they let it go and take that step, and then parents lose their mind for real. They got to brag to everyone that their child is now walking. So we're conditioned to win. I mean, we're born to win, and our parents support us winning until we start developing our own personalities and start going against what they want. And that's when we become or begin to become conditioned to lose. And then we begin to try to fit in with everybody else. We want to be like everybody else. We want to be accepted. And all these things happen to us, and we begin to condition ourselves in a way that does not support who God meant for us to be. That kind of diminishes the divine spark in each one of us, kind of gets diminished as we get older most of the time, unless you're doing something to continue having that flame, that divine spark, become a flame, become a fire, and then you become on fire, and then you can say what's in your hand.
Man, you made me remember falling out the bunk beds when I was a child just now, man. And I fell out the bunk beds. I fell out the bed, hit the floor more than one time. And I didn't have my hands out. I bounced off my head. That's powerful what you're saying. You got something to share, Angela?
I'm so I did not know that this conversation tonight was going to be about touch. A lot of I would say the greatest healings I got through Jeff has been about touch. And I've discovered things about how I hold on to experience. I never thought I was a kinesthetic person. I'm not a dancer. I'm not an athlete. I was never very physical. But, I always thought, I'm probably more auditory because I'm a talker, or, visual. I like to take photographs of filmmaker. But through Jeff, I learned that I was holding a lot of trauma and just negative experiences in my body. And
wow. You fell out of beds too?
Absolutely incredible. And it made sense when I look back at my life, one of the big healings I got through Jeff, through actually through pranic healing and through neurolinguistic programs. See, Jeff is incredible because he's a master of so many forms of healing, because his intention is so pure and so deep and so real. See, that's just a sense of urgency in the world right there. But that's
I'm gonna get y'all. That's what I had to mute.
I'm telling you, the sirens are coming in just in time. But that he has many, many types of healing at his fingertips. And so he's in alignment with everything that is effective. He's very in alignment with everything that's effective. So I had been a very early victim of terrible sexual abuse as a child, and physical abuse and all types of stuff. And, I kind of moved through it. I just kind of moved through it. You know how Black people are. We just focus, we plunge, we just keep going, we bruise, we fall, we just get up, we keep going, we don't think. And at some point in my life, I hit a wall. And I didn't know why, because I was at the very peak of things. I was in Los Angeles, going to Hollywood. I had just the goodwill of many, many people. I had worked really hard. And I got to a place that was just amazing. And then I just stopped, just absolutely stopped. And one of the things that, over the years of getting to know Jeff is, I had a lot of healings through, like he would say, where do you feel that sense of anxiety, or that sense of something is wrong, or that because it wasn't really coming out in other ways, but I would always be able to locate it in my body. He made me aware that it has an origin, that it moves, that it has different kinds of temperature to it. I mean, he made me hyper aware of feeling, and the effect of emotional issues on my body, just that I carry this. And it makes sense. And I've been healed of a lot of things, of like a very deep depression, chronic anxiety, a fear of being touched at a terrible, like most people would be hugged, it would be feel good. With me, it was terrifying. I even fainted one time when a friend of mine hugged me. This guy hugged me really, and he really embraced me. He was so happy to see me, and I fainted. That is how terrible it was. I felt so
Illustrate how
terrible.
you felt. I mean, are you in your
I
couch right
was,
now?
yeah, no,
Just joking, just joking, just joking.
I was actually, we were at my house, and I think I was standing near my bed or something like that. And he just hugged me, and I fainted. And he laid me on the bed, and he started crying. He thought he's from Senegal. He didn't know what was going on, and he started crying and thought he had killed me. And I woke up and I didn't know what happened. I just did. He said, "I hugged you, and you've passed out." And I said, "Oh my God, is it that bad?"
Wow,
Wow.
you just made my back screen faint, and it just fell behind me. So this is powerful.
It's very powerful. And you know how terrible and how difficult it is to have romantic relationships if touch is painful, because you've been beaten and you've been abused and all kinds of craziness. So, it really had a powerful, terribly limiting effect on my life. But I will say that Jeff, I mean, it was one, I took a weekend workshop, but in a matter of less than an hour, he had located this, like how this was working, that I would wake up in the morning feeling terrified, feeling depressed, and just I would just plunge. I would just wake up and plunge. And he worked with me on it. It stopped. He moved it around. He shrank. It did a lot of really interesting things. We did that together. He showed me how to do it. This is the other part of his healing practice that I really respect. He teaches you how to help yourself.
That's amazing.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That's a big one, because I haven't met a man yet that say, "Hey, my name's Leroy. I'm traumatized." Women, y'all magical.
Yeah.
I see where women can say hi, go to church and say hi, congregation. I'm a victim of abuse. You men, we can't. When's the last time
Very
you heard a
true.
pastor? Men don't do that, and this
Very
audience
true.
is on average 70% men. Now, what we will do is we will act out.
Yes.
But women, y'all kind of resilient, and you know how to express, like.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard women say when their shoes are worn out and that their feet are hitting the ground. They never talk about how their shoes get worn out and they
Yeah.
put cardboard under their shoes, but they will tell us about certain particular trauma, or
Yeah.
they won't tell you when they broke. When do you know sisters that tell you when they broke?
Mm.
Okay, so it's interesting. I said I had to bring it up because in the audience you also have men. And Jeff, coming back to you, how do you deal with men who do not open up to all of their experiences that is less than their highest good?
Well, I don't usually, if I am around a group of men, I don't usually have a hard time getting them to speak, usually because of my love for people generally, and my ability, and I teach my students to love people beyond their ability to love themselves. So when you have that kind of feeling for someone, this is your life's work, people just tell you things. I've had people tell me things that they had never told anyone before. So I don't always have a lot of, if you find, if the man is in the audience, it's a different ball game, because then they gotta be, they gotta be macho and everything else. Their ego's involved. But when you get on one-on-one, usually it's a whole different ball game. Usually within one or two sessions, they've cracked already.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I got to give acknowledgement to Master Nit Yama. He would do a form of touchless healing, and he said that he had, not saying all, but he had a significant number of men who prefer men, and he would do table work on them, and it would literally, the ones who became that way from childhood trauma would be restored to their original blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
In your work, in your doing pranic healing, tell us some of breakthroughs that people have had, even with their bank account.
Well, let me say this about men first also. When I work with people, I don't really need to know all your business. And a lot of men don't want to tell you their business. But I will guide them to get the feeling in their body that they came to see me about, whether it's anger, resentment, betrayal, whatever it may be. They have a feeling about it. In most cases, men have anesthetized the feeling. So I help them first of all get in touch with the feeling again, like Angela talked about earlier. And once they get in touch with the feeling, I don't need to know any detail. I don't need to know any detail. I can do the healing without knowing all the detail. And so that makes men very comfortable also. Just being able to come in, get a session done, get the thing resolved without me knowing what it was at all. That makes a lot of men very comfortable. So they have to tell me shit. Plus, I don't want to hear it anyway.
You know what? Because I've also studied pranic healing, and special acknowledgement to all healers in the audience. I want to give you salutations and everyone who's listening. Jeff, tell us how important pre-touch in like corporate meetings or social gatherings or future projections, like, you're going to meet an individual, or you're going to go to a particular meeting and it's important to you. How important is touching into the future?
Well, I think the best way to tell you about that is to tell you about a story when I was invited to speak at psychiatric grand rounds at Woodhull Memorial Hospital. And I was invited there because I helped the women do some things that they thought was impossible, that's impossible in traditional medicine. And so I went there with a very open mind, just going in, I'm gonna share what I did, blah, 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 blah. When I got there, I found out the reason why they invited me to psychiatric grand rounds was they didn't believe what I did could be possible.
Wow.
So they wanted this. I was almost like, it was like a setup. The kind of
it was a setup.
Huh?
That was a setup.
It was a setup. But I didn't find out until I got there. That's why they invited me. I thought they wanted to know what I did, how I did, and everything else, not challenge what I did. And so I got a little nervous. I'm talking to them. I'm saying, God, the psychologist is going to be there. The psychiatrist is going to be there. The art therapist is going to be there. The music therapist is going to be there. They will be speaking a language that I do not know as far as all these medical terms. And then I remembered what I knew. I said to myself, this is the future projection now. Okay, I'm going to be going in about a half an hour. What am I going to do to empower myself instead of sitting there worrying about what they're going to do and what they're going to say now that I found out what I'm really here for? And then I began to change my conversation inside my head. I began to project myself a different way. In other words, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I imagined them being really, really small. And so I was wondering, well, what am I doing to cause this kind of fear in my head, this kind of anxiety? And I noticed that I was seeing them a lot bigger than I was seeing myself. They were bigger than me inside my mind's eye, and because they were the authorities, so they were bigger than me in my mind's eye. So what I did, I shrunk them down till they were smaller than me, almost the size of like almost like a bug. And I saw them sitting there with gags around their mouth, hands tied behind their back. And what I heard is I was doing rehearsals in my head, just for future, to walk in there. And what I heard in my head was the Rocky theme. Dun 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 dun. And the louder it got, the more the ground shook, and they were scared as hell. It's like dun 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 dun. It was like ah. By the time I walked in there, I was on fire. I had projected all that into the future because that's what I need to go in and talk to them. And the first thing they said to me, the guy that was in charge, he said, a chief of a grand round said to me, well, we invited you, or we invited you in because what you did, we think is impossible. We can't believe you did it, so you have to explain how we did it. I said, well, the difference is you guys are educated. You went to school and everything else. I'm not educated, so I don't know what's impossible. So to me, everything is possible. And that's where I operated from. And from that point on, I did stuff with them. And towards the end, they started talking about hypnosis. And I told the guy that not everyone can be hypnotized. Only intelligent people can be hypnotized. And he was telling me that he couldn't be hypnotized, although he's intelligent. So I said, okay, well, sit here next to me and I'll talk to the people out there about hypnosis then. And what I did basically was hypnotize him, but he didn't know it, what was going on. And then I had all the people leave the room while he sat there. He didn't even know he left the room. The funniest thing about it is that when they came back into the room with the sodas, they went to the candy machine, to the little machines, and bought stuff. And so when they came back, he claimed he saw them going out and everything else. But the most interesting thing about it is that he became a past life therapist.
Wow.
He became a past life therapist. I saw him at the New Life Expo teaching about past life therapy. He was in charge of the psychiatric department.
Wow.
I still remember his name and everything else. I'm not going to mention it. But I've had some interesting experiences like that. But everything is about your intention and your touch. Everything goes back to touch once again. Energy. Everything goes back to energy.
So this is powerful. If we are able to go into the future, can we also go into the past and adjust touch? Because what you shared, Angela, is powerful. And what you're saying, Jeffrey, as a touch master, many of people, our indigenous people in this country, have not learned how to navigate touch. Like people sometimes lock eyes. And does your course teach people how to become touch masters and almost dream masters? Because it's almost like that's two sides of the same coin. How much is touch into the past a part of dreaming into the future?
Well, let me talk about future projection once again first. Because anytime I'm going to speak somewhere, normally, I will check the room of the past energy that's been there before I get there.
Whoa.
And I will send energy to the room to clean out before I even get there. Now, as far as the past is concerned, when I work with people therapeutically, or what they call therapeutically, I call it just coaching, I usually go back into their past because that's where all the damage was. So see, when you think about quantum psychology and quantum physics, if something happened when you were 10 years old, right? Some traumatic experience when you were 10 years old. Let's call that the seed. That's when the seed was planted when you were 10. If you go back to when you were 9, would that experience have happened yet? The answer is no, because it happened when you were 10. The seed was planted. You were abused when you were 10. So if you go back in your imagination to when you were 9, of course you don't have that experience yet. So then if you do nothing more than collapse time, that experience is erased off your timeline. So now you can go back through that experience without all the emotion attached to it.
That's deep, because people always talking about, you hear a lot of people are stuck on, my grandparents, this slavery, this and slavery, that. And it's almost like a loop that people have traumas that they remember. Like this one brother I know, he said, I was Emmett Till in my past lives. I said, well, did you ever go back and address the things that nobody else would know? And he never touched on that, but he looked like a grown Emmett Till. And he's known as Tutum Ra. He wrote a book about that. But how can that help so many people?
When it comes to that stuff, you can do generational healing. If everything is energy, right, then why can't you change the energy or neutralize the negative energy of your ancestors? When we do generational healing, like we went to Senegal, we did generational healing before we even went into the villages. I've done it at retreats that I've done generational healing. And to do generational healing is a matter of being able, first I have to get people sensitive to touch, so you can experience the experience of their ancestors. So in other words, I teach them how to sensitize their hands first. Then I have them, they can feel the weight of the hands on the father side and on the mother side. So we go through 7 generations. You feel the weight or resistance on the family, father side and mother side, and say, oh, my father's side feels heavier than my mother's side, whatever it may be, depending on which generation. And then we begin to blast them with divine healing energy to help to disintegrate. I say seek, destroy, obliterate, dissolve, disintegrate all negative thought forms, entities, and elementals across all time, space, dimension, realities. Is the command we give the energy. Because energy follows thought. So the question is, what thoughts are you having every day that creates the energy you're portraying to the world? But when it comes to generational healing, I want to seek, destroy, obliterate, dissolve, disintegrate all negative thought forms, entities, elementals, and curses that may have come through one of the generations. So you talk about the past, generational healing is going back into the past 7 generations. And even if you don't know who they are, you don't have to know who they are. You set the intention and you scan for it. I'll teach you how to scan it, and you will feel the difference. You feel who's heavier, who's lighter, and then you continue doing it until they're all lighter. So you can go through, your hands go through it very quickly. But then it's not gonna happen in one session. You gotta do it again and again and again until it clears up and stays cleared up. And that happens after several sessions. Sometimes it can happen in one session, but most of the time it happens after several sessions of generational healing or ancestral healing.
That's powerful.
And you can go back and measure the past. So I can look at someone that had a problem 12 years ago, and if you sensitize your hands like we do in pranic healing, you can actually go back and scan for what happened in the past. You can scan people's energy in their body for different ailments they may have. I mean, there's a lot you can do when you learn something like pranic healing or neurolinguistic programming or quantum psychology or EFT or anything, a bunch of them.
How'd you like that Senegalese food while you was there?
Yo, man, I'm still full. Well, we had a good time.
God bless. Check Amadou Bamba. And to all my Senegalese brothers, I love some table gen.
I forgot what I had out there. I didn't have the fish. Everybody's eating fish. I don't eat fish, so. Oh, I don't eat fish with heads on it anyway, because I feel the eyes are watching me.
I better put up a disclaimer right now. Angela, you better say something.
I have to say something, Jeff, to you, that this was, now I had so many crazy, incredible experiences through Jeff's healing. I'm telling you, man, I can write a book about it. One time, one of the earliest ones, Jeff, was I used to have this sensation of having my throat cut. And it was, I used to remember that? And I came to you and I said, oh my God, Jeff, I've been having this for years. It's just sensation of, and I used to always like grab for my throat. And you did a past life regression. You said, and you went into, and you spoke to me, got into hypnosis, and you spoke to me and asked me when it began. And I went, it was not in my childhood in this life. It was not in my mother's womb. It was before that. And I went all the way back. And you asked me, well, when was this? And I said to you, the 11th or 12th century.
Right.
Wow.
I had a very clear picture of that. And I saw myself, for some reason, I saw like this Ankh, an Egyptian Ankh rolling in the sky. And I said, and then he said, well, where are you? I said, I'm in this room. I'm in this room. And he said, how old are you? I said, I'm like a teenage boy. I'm crying. And I could see that I'm some kind of, I look like a, Spanish, Italian child, a young teenage boy. And I'm dressed in kind of velvet clothing. So I feel it's like some type of nobility, some type of aristocracy. And he said, well, describe the surroundings. And I said, well, I'm like in a rectangular room, and there's a table there, and there's a candle on the table, and I'm crying, and I'm crying for my mother to come. I'm like, Mom, where are you? I'm crying for my mother. And someone opens the door, comes into the room and cuts my throat. And I died there. And I was like 15, like maybe 13, 15. So anyway, we did a healing of that. And And I stopped having that feeling. It completely went away. Later that year, I was doing this is the early part of the forum when the S training was ending and the forum was beginning. I met some people there who were connected to Italy. And so they invited me to come and I went. I quit my job and I bought a ticket and I went. When I got to this location, this village, way outside of Rome, in northern Italy, I got to this house and I see it looks like almost like an abandoned house, but it's not complete, like it's being renovated or something. Anyway, long story short, this artist that I met bought this place and she had a room in this place that was a rectangular space and there was a tree growing in the middle and there were no windows. It just looked over a valley. And some children came one day, which nobody was there, it was just me. And they told me, these were children in the village. They said, I said, let's clean this place up. Let's wash the floor. I can speak a little Italian, but I said, let's wash the floor. So the kids washed the floor and there were these terracotta tiles underneath the mud. And then they said, lift the tiles. And they started to bang on the tiles and there were urns buried in the tiles. And they said, oh, this is Tuscany. We are descendants of the Etruscans. And we have many of these treasures everywhere. And I said, why would there be urns under this room? And they said, because this house is built above a necropolis. I said, what is the necropolis? And the children said, it's the city of the dead. If you go into the valley and you look up into this mountain, the whole mountain is like a honeycomb, and those are graves. And our ancestors were Egyptians, and they would bury us with our treasure, with our furniture, and that's what these things are. They're urns, but there's also gold, there's jewelry, and we all have it. We're supposed to give it to the government, but F the government. We keep this stuff. So what happened was, I asked my friend, what is this place? She said, this was a monastery that has been closed since the 11th or 12th century.
Wow.
And she invited another friend after I left. And that friend said that there was a spirit in that house of a young child that had been killed. And she did a ceremony to bring this child into the light. She said a child was murdered here in this room where the tree was growing through the floor. And she built a table around that tree. It was an amazing thing to have a tree in the middle of a room and to build a table around it and have it be like a dining room. But I understood everywhere I went in this village, this was a medieval village. Everywhere I went, the people would reach out to me and invite me to come to their home. They treated me like I was returning home. It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
And I would say to myself, it's something eerily familiar about this village, but I've never been to Tuscany before. And I would say, well, if I walk 2 blocks down and I make a left, there is going to be a church over there. Or if I walk in this other direction, there's going to be a horse stable. And do you know, I would walk and I would make those turns and that would be right. Everything I said would be there was there.
Wow.
And I mean, it was crazy. And I said, wow, I couldn't remember when I got back to New York. I said to Jeff, you're not going to believe it, but I returned to this place where my throat was cut. I was in that room. I was in that house. It was in a monastery. I was in that house. And it was the 11th, 12th century that place had been closed, had last been used. Incredible. Absolutely. And there was a man there who had a restaurant called Il Saturno, the Saturn, and he was an Egyptian. And he met me, he saw me, and he welcomed me. He closed his restaurant. It was a very popular restaurant. He closed his restaurant and he made me an Egyptian dinner of couscous and lamb and eggplant. I mean, this man threw a feast for me, him and his family. They just absolutely loved me. And I was just like, wow, I've never had an Egyptian dinner, but everything that I saw in that past life regression with Jeff, it was experienced on this trip to Italy the same year that I got that healing of my throat being cut. It just incredible. So I can
That
tell you, not only can you heal generations, you can actually return to the scene of the crime and be showered with love so that that is healed too. You
Thank
know,
you
the
so much for
sense,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's
welcome.
powerful. Yeah, I just had a deja vu sitting up and saying thank you for sharing. I'm like, this is crazy, because what Jeff is saying and what Angela is confirming, family, we are energy of the distant past and the future. We are more than you can imagine. What about people and pets, Jeff and Angela? Because there's so many people that love pets. What can you share some interesting stories? Because folks is listening in.
Interesting stories about pets. Well, pets are healers too. Pets are very powerful healers. How many times if a pet elongated someone's life and they just didn't know it was the pet that kept them alive because they didn't want to leave their pet alone, wherever it may be. When I went to El Camino de Santiago Trail, it was 100 miles walking in silence from Portugal to Spain. And I remember when I did that walk, I was in so much pain. My blood was in pain. I was hurting so much from walking. I was not used to walking almost 20 miles a day. And I remember sitting down on this wooden bench on the side of the road, and I said to myself, man, this is the most pain I've been in a long time. And I don't like cats. I'm allergic to cats, actually. And this cat came and jumped on my leg. I saw the cat walking towards me.
Man.
But he came and jumped on my leg. I wanted to push him off because I don't like cats. I'm allergic to them. But I didn't. And he just looked at me and he jumped back down and walked away. When I got up to walk again, all the pain was gone.
Wow.
All the pain was gone.
And my cat just came.
My cat just came before you started sharing it. He came and sat down right next to me. Look. Don't. I'm turning the computer around. Look, he's sitting right here. Is that the, yeah, there he is right there.
I see him. Yeah.
It's almost like he's listening to your story.
Well, the cat definitely came and just touched my leg, and my leg was better. And the thing about it is that I didn't realize it then, but one of my friends told me that the patron saint of animals is Saint Francis of Assisi. And our prayer, and you know, Hank, when we do Twin Hearts meditation, and Yolanda knows, not Yolanda, Angela knows too, that we always bring in Saint Francis of Assisi. So I said, wow, that's why the pain went away. But it allowed me to walk another 8 or 9 miles that day. And after that, my legs didn't hurt anymore during the rest of the walk. But animals also communicate. Animals have chakras. Every time about the 7 chakras that humans have, animals have chakras also. And animals are easier to heal than humans are because they don't have all the other past stuff that they're worrying about. They don't even know what's going on. They just know they feel better. So animals are much more, and you have a special relationship with your animal also, because no matter what you do, and no matter how bad your day was, your animal is still going to love you. Animals love more unconditionally, more so than humans do. You can beat a dog up, and the dog will come back later on and sit next to you, or when I lick your face. So there's a special communication, but if we are all one don't just mean with human beings. We say we are one, you mean with all God's creation, because you are part of God's creation. So everything's included in that. After a while, it becomes a challenge for you to even kill a bug, because you're looking at the bug saying, "Oh, that's God's creation too." So if I do kill a bug, I gotta say I bless his little soul first, and I energize him first, so his soul goes straight to wherever it's going before I get rid of him. If I do.
Thanks for the technique, because we needed to learn that. You just gave us a message there. Bugs.
I started feeling, after seeing that movie with I think it was with Richard Pryor about the water bug. I forgot what it was. I felt bad about squishing water bugs. Angela, how you deal with water bugs?
Oh my God. Terrified of them, but maybe I need to go to Jeff and get over that too. Stop bugging about bugs.
Bugs be bugging people out.
I know.
This is powerful.
I'm not a big fan of bugs, but at the same time, I realize now that, because as you continue to grow spiritually, you realize that, it's one thing to say we are one with all, but even if you sat here right now, you said, I am one with my inner soul. And you sat here and long enough, you feel something shifting. And if you said, I'm one with the microphone, I'm one with the wall, you think about it, you feel a different energy altogether. You resonate totally different with the wall, but you become one with it anyway. So it's like being one with something is just being, if you are, and we are, if we all, part of the divine spark within us, and we're all children of God, and we're connected to God, we're one with God, we're one with all, then the thing is that our brains just can't register that. Our brains can't register that. And if it does register it at times, it scares us sometimes to know that we can be that powerful, to know we can create that kind of change. And then people go back into what's more comfortable, and that's the past conditioning. Born to win, conditioned to lose. And that's more comfortable for us to be the way we've always been than to step outside and be something more and be different. And it takes a lot of heart too, because people talk about you. Think about all the great people in the world. You can talk about, George Washington Carver, you can talk about any of those people. People thought they were crazy, but they made the best. Think about just the airplanes. Imagine that one. You trying to jump off mountains to fly a plane, risking your life every time, but believing man can fly and create a machine to fly. And now we get on a plane, don't even think about it. So all the great inventions have been made by people that people think are crazy because they weren't afraid to tap into that divine spark within them and do something different than everybody else.
Very well said. What do you say about that, Angela?
I think that the fear of greatness is very real. And we feel it, and it feels so like when we feel who we really are is so much bigger than our identity, so much bigger than our history, our bodies, what we see. It's scary. It's actually, it scared me for a very, very long time. And now that I started reading Stop, Drop, and Roll and working on the practices that, working on the processes in the book, I've begun to be more trusting. And just like Jeff is saying, just kind of going with not knowing. And you know what I mean?
Without knowing. I like that.
Yes, going without knowing. It's a very, very powerful thing because I think it's a measure of our trust in God that we're okay, that we will be caught, that we will be, that we won't, our ego tells us to be careful, that, it's always protecting us and telling us not to go outside of the lines of safety, the safety net. But really, life itself is always calling us to go beyond that. So it's a real, but what you were saying before about women, though, and women being able to talk about pain is that as girls, we get our menstrual cycle, and that can be painful. And we're kind of taught about that. Then we're taught that when we have children, childbirth will be painful. And so we're kind of taught to be in touch with that pain and to expect it and to know that it's going to be there. And I think, though, that in this era, women are going beyond tradition, of course. And so it's a number of things. It's the pain of not being accepted, because the pain of being exceptional is also a big one. When I was a kid, I was told, "Oh, you talk like a white person. What's wrong with you? Why don't you fit in? That thing of being rejected and isolated and picked on and bullied for being great, for being,
Yep.
It's terrible. It was unbelievable. The same people that sexually molested me when I was a little kid, I was extremely articulate. they would slap me in the mouth for speaking to grown-ups with confidence. Like they say, you shouldn't be looking us in the eye when you speak to us. And it was just crazy. And these were religious people, very well respected people in the church. Very well respected. That's why my mother trusted them to leave me with them in their care. And it was just unbelievable. So it's like, yeah, we're supposed to trust God. We're supposed to elevate, supposed to do our homework, supposed to obey our parents. But then when that greatness starts to show, people are like, wait a minute, and you are punished in different ways for being great and for having a shine, for having that, for showing the God in you, like you get crucified literally for your Christ-like qualities. I mean, it's crazy because all of us have Christ-like qualities, and you get crucified for your Christ, for your divinity. It's just crazy. But I'm in my maturity and I'm enjoying becoming an older woman. I'm enjoying it because I'm able to just drop that stuff. And so now I'm in this stop, drop, and roll phase. And, I'm enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it.
Well, mention Stop, Drop, and Roll. That's the reason why I created that book was to give people a framework. It's almost like a self-rescue manual to rescue yourself from the shit. That's where it really is like a because the setting goals is not a problem. The problem is the patterns that stop you from achieving the goals. So the whole book is about the first thing about the book is the bigger framework is so what, now what? So what this is happening to you, what are you going to do about it? So what Trump is doing is what you're going to do about it. So what your girl left you, what you're going to do about it. So what your guy left you, what you're going to do about it. So what you lost your job, what you're going to do about it. First of all, grab that larger framework which tells you you don't have enough time on the earth to be focusing on problems unless you want to stay at a lower frequency. So what now, what makes you focus on what the solution is to the problem? Because a problem is nothing more than a solution turned inside out. So once you begin to turn it inside out, you find you already have the answers inside you. They're already there. It's your self-talk and your past conditioning that's blocking the answers. So the first framework is so what, now what? Then after that, it's like, okay, stop. Let's evaluate where we are right now. What's going on? How are we feeling? How are we responding? And just evaluate where you are right now in your life and reflect on it in that particular situation on all areas of your life. The book talks about all areas of your life. It goes through like 5 different areas of your life. Then after you do that, you got to figure out what it is you need to drop. And sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's friends you've had for a long time. Sometimes it can even be your animal. Sometimes it's things you need to drop to move forward. And what beliefs do you have that's holding you back? Or what beliefs do you have that's holding you in your pattern of comfort? That's too small for your spirit, but you decide to stay there because you don't want to be uncomfortable being something more than something more than your friends. You want to still fit in. You worry about fitting in, so you're going to do what you need to do. So that's the whole part about dropping. What do you need to drop so you can roll into a life of no regrets? So you can roll into a life of living your dreams. So you can roll into a life of financial abundance, physical abundance, abundance in your health, abundance in all areas of your life. That's what the whole book's about, just stopping. It's like a self-rescue manual because you follow it. And anytime in your life you start getting little twist things happen, you say, okay, all right, Jeff, so what now? What are you going to do about it? This is what happened to you. It's terrible. You feel like a piece of SHIT. People are laughing at you. What are you going to do about it? That's the first switch. And then just stop right there and start to evaluate where you are right now, what you're thinking, what beliefs have to be present for you to hold on to this energy you're holding on to. Because what happens in the world really doesn't matter. It's how you respond to it that gives it power or not. And how you respond to it is based on your past programming. That's why I said born to win, conditioned to lose. So most of our programming is not one that's going to help us win. A lot of our conditioning is one that's going to perpetuate us losing. And the media helps. You don't see anything, you see something on the media, we're always negative. The old days they used to say, what color's angel food cake? White. What color's devil's food cake? Black. We used to have all these things we used to say back in the day to just compare, Tonto and the Wrong Ranger. You know, who wore the black, who wore the, you know, it was all these things that we had back then just confirmed that we're looked at a certain way. But that's not, it doesn't matter how you looked at, the question how you look at yourself.
You know, what comes to mind, Angela and Brother Jeff, is the impact of music and how our music was hijacked
by the evil forces of record companies that made us exclusively self-hate, and they never even thought of doing that to their own cultures. How important is music in our hypnotic state that you spoke of?
Well, I always have to put things, go back to the individual. You know, it's always the individual first, then the collective. Because our music has really had us disrespect each other quite a bit. I mean, too much to the point that's disgusting. And of course, they don't do it in their own races because they want to keep themselves elevated. They want to keep us feeling oppressed, like we can't do anything, like we're the victims, like we have no power. They want to do all those things. And if you do begin to gain power, they're going to find a way to chop you down. If you do find a way to do the things right, they're going to find a way to chop you down. If you look at someone like India.Arie, she wrote a lot of empowering music, but she didn't get the same play that someone like Alicia Keys got, who was back during her time also. But she kind of fit in under Clyde, bless his soul. I heard he died, so bless his soul, yeah. That she fit underneath that Clive Davis, who kind of managed her career in such a way that he protected her from a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he just passed away at 94, I think it was.
Yeah. Just, was it yesterday or today?
It was recent. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's about 2 days. I met him, but yeah, it was about 2 days ago. Yeah. And remember also in the Bible that Satan was a fallen angel and that Satan's beauty was music. He had a musical, he was an angel that had musical ability. And it's very hypnotic. Music is very hypnotic. But, you know, one of the things that you teach, Jeff, is that we can choose. We can choose the things that we take into ourselves, into our conscious. We can choose our music, what we focus on, what we eat, who we're around. It's you know, it's a choice and it's a discipline, but it's self-love also.
Everything's a choice. You know, the fact that, you know, Hank, you and I are alive is because of choices we made. You know, a lot of the people that I grew up with come up in the projects, they're dead on drugs or in jail. You know, but we made different choices at different times that have us here in our becoming more mature, and we're still alive, we're still here, we're still vibrant. There are people who made different choices than us that's the same age as us. They're like they're about to die. They look really, really bad between overweight, diabetes, you know, whatever it may be, whatever they may have, it's because they made different choices than we did. So everything you do is about the choices you make and decisions you make and what you put importance on. I can't listen to something like hard rock music. That just is no good for my spirit. I have to listen to something that's very calming, something I can listen to rap for a little while, but not for a really long time. But you put on some nice relaxation music, some go to sleep music, some meditation music, I'm good. You put on classical music, I'm good. Because it's a different frequency. See, sometimes the frequencies, they play frequencies on purpose that's going to cause agitation. It's going to cause anger, all these other feelings, because they're different music has different vibrations. And once again, it's a matter of where's the music hitting you at? It's hitting you in your base chakra, it's gonna make you more activated. It's hitting you in your heart chakra, make you feel more loving. Where's that? It's hitting you in the ajna. Where's the music hitting you at? Because everybody may hit them someplace different, depending on what's open and what's not open. But music is very important. It can influence everything. It can create world peace, but it can also create war.
Sounds so true. Sounds so true. This was really good. I enjoyed the free flow of what you have been sharing tonight. It's incredible. The things you sharing, Jeff, the things you sharing, Angela. I was just at your office, across the street from your office.
At the Dominican deli, directly across the street from your spot, Jeff, getting scrambled eggs with yuca and mac and cheese. I'm still full.
from
You
this
still
morning.
full?
Still
So
full.
what'd you get? What'd you get again?
I got because I don't eat fish either, and I'll share with you why. Uh, Scrambled eggs. You go to the back of the store, the
I know
deli
what it is.
directly.
I know where you
I
go.
get the scrambled eggs, and in Spanish is known as huevo. Um, Eggs are known as huevo, and I get the yuca.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so hungry, I rode from the Parkway down to Fulton, and then I said, I have a taste for mac and cheese, and I topped off, and then something told me, I was thinking of taking a bus back up because I was so full, I don't feel like pedaling, and I took the shuttle. But before, this is what you're saying about energy. It felt so awesome. It felt so good at this train station at the shuttle, and with the wind blowing and the clear sky. I let 3 trains pass by. And then I finally it's like, okay, this is the train to get on. And when I got on it, I met a brilliant brother that is going through the challenge of homelessness, but you could see that he was a warrior. He had clear vision. He was wearing his elbow pads, his knee pads. He said, I do martial arts, and I'm having this circumstance. And had I not waited at
you would never met him.
So I really appreciate you speaking about being in that flow zone, and then I took the train back up towards the Parkway. But this is one of these days. I think you're going to meet up with people who do tantra practitioners. I think this is probably one of the missing pieces as far as how to clean your energy, like clean your aura. When you meet a person or of interest, whether male or female, how you need to clean the memory. How important is it? This is a question. How important is it learning how to clean an aura, Jeff?
Well, I think the problem is that people go after a lot of false teachings or teachings that are not clear. Let me give you an example of what I mean. A lot of people talk about Kundalini yoga, and they tell me about how they bring the Kundalini from the bottom of the spine, from the perineal area, all the way up through their body, blah, 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 blah. But they never tell me how they clean the chakras first.
Hell, oh, that's a gong, man. Hold on, let me get the gong. That's a powerful one.
Go ahead, brother. Break it down.
So now you are bringing all this energy from the lower part of your body to the crown chakra per se and above. That's contaminated. That's dirty. Because you've not cleaned your base chakra, you've not cleaned your Ming chakra, you've not cleaned your back heart, your back solar plex, the back of your head, the back of your throat. You're not cleaning any of those chakras, but you're bringing that energy up and circulating it. So there's just a lot of false teachers, and it's very important. If you want to stay healthier, what you need, what will be a good practice to clean your chakras or your aura almost every day. Because when you get on the train, remember, we are one. You're not just stepping into that person's aura, you're stepping into their shit for the day also. So depending on the strength of your aura, the strength of your energy body, it will either repel or let that stuff stick to you. Then you walk around all day with your stuff and their stuff. So before you know it, you're stressed out. Half the stress may not even be yours. It may be someone else's stress.
I remember going to a Tantra class, and Angela, Jeff, family, it felt like an energy cesspool because they were not practicing any kind of aura cleansing. And they were working on, we're going to make, let me project until this one goes into bliss. But it was like a dirty pond of energy.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But Jeff, here's another thing where you excel, and one of the reasons why you excel. Jeff learned from masters. I mean, really like original thinkers, okay? And Jeff always acknowledges every single phone call, every single session. He acknowledges his spiritual, cultural legacy, all the elders, all the way going back, the teachers of his teachers. This is very important because when you take these healing practices are extremely powerful. They can kill you as well as heal you. They really can. And if you don't understand the history and the development, like what are the building blocks of these things, you can create spiritual malpractice. You can hurt people, and it's very important to understand, first of all, these things came from the East, from Africa, from the Middle East, from India, and they took thousands and thousands, many generations to develop. There was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of learning involved in getting to the point where you have tantric yoga, where you have any type of yoga, where you have pranic healing, where you have hypnosis. Like, this didn't just pop out of nowhere overnight. This stuff is thousands, millennials of generations to create and to perfect, so that it would not hurt people, so that it helped, because it is a weapon. Look, there's stuff we can do, honey, remote viewing and a whole bunch of stuff that I know is being utilized right now by governments.
Yeah, by the government, yeah.
Honey, it's no question. I've met people from Russia who come from Siberia, are shamans. I met them in LA, and they talk about how work can get done across countries, warfare that happens through shamanism, through a whole, it's a very old, these people are very, I mean, we're dealing with people in, like, attacking Iran, talking about he's going to, we're going to destroy civilizations. Like, just saying that is crazy. So it's demonic. So I think it's very important to be humble when you do this type of work, to acknowledge your teachers, to understand the roots of what you're doing, and understand how deep the power is, that it's like driving a vehicle. You can get somewhere, or you can kill somebody on the way. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? So yeah, you have to be very careful. And one of the things I've learned is to look for people who acknowledge their lineage, acknowledge who they learned from, and who that person learned from, and who that person learned. Then there's more of a caring approach to the methodology. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like razzle dazzle and get your money. It's like, no, even when you do you use the lights, colors and lights, you acknowledge that some colors and some lights should not be used for certain things.
Right.
So that's really important.
That reminds me,
at African Arts Festival, when it was down by the Brooklyn Navy Yard, I had a tent, I had a booth, and I had created innocently a pyramid with a black base and red sides. And there was a brother who was staying on top of the massage table, because I was doing reflexology at that time. And when I went to the booth the next morning, Angela, Brother Jeff, family, the pyramid was neatly taken apart and was laying on the ground. And the brother who was sleeping was still on the table, which makes the next question. Tell us what portals are in relation to, and what is portals, and are people's chakras portals?
Well, of course, people's chakras are portals. They call them energy systems, but they're really portals that take in and inhale and exhale energy per se. But you can also enter through the chakras into some other dimensions if you are deep enough, or if you have earned the right to. Sometimes it's not a matter of whether it can be done or not. It's a matter of whether or not the masters will allow you to do it because you've earned the right to do it. Because sometimes people want to do, and that's what's wrong with today. There's so many people out there on the internet doing things that have not earned the right to do it. They learn one thing and they run out there on the internet and start teaching like they are a guru. and they have not earned the right to do it, because it's like anything else. You don't go to high school, you don't go to college until you go to high school, or at least get a high school equivalency diploma. You have to earn the right to get there. When it comes to the spiritual world, what people are not realizing now is you have to earn the right to do certain things. I mean, there have been times where I would ask one of the masters in pranic healing, can I do X, Y, and Z? And they'll measure and say, no, you're not ready. Or they'll say, no, you can't do that. Or no, you can't teach that right now. You can teach X, Y, and Z. Because there is something called entitlement, spiritual entitlement. And everybody's not entitled to the same thing spiritually as other people are. So yes, there are portals, and those portals can take you into different dimensions. I was at an Indian reservation one time in Houston, Texas, and a portal opened up. It wasn't my chakras, it was a portal. And I almost went into the portals. I was curious, but I didn't go in. And the woman I was running the what they call those things in Indian, in the indigenous people, where you have those big, I forgot what it's called now. But she just told me she was glad I didn't go into the portal, because I would have went to another dimension, and she wasn't sure I was ready to handle that other dimension or not. But the fact of the matter is, you can go in dimensions even when you meditate deep enough. You can go into another dimension. So it's just a matter of how comfortable you are and what you're entitled to as far as concerned. The chakras are very important portals because they also are portals to our physical body. Chakras are also portals to our physical body. Say that one more time. Chakras are also portals to our physical body. No matter what organ you talk about, there's a portal going into that organ. Like, people don't realize that the liver has 3 portals going into it. The right lung has 3. The left lung has 2. The kidneys have 1. The adrenals have 1. So there are different portals that's allowing the energy to go into our physical body also. And that's what's really controlling or influencing the physical body. Nothing happens in the physical body unless the portals of the energetic body or the aura or the chakras are imbalanced. They have to be imbalanced for anything to happen in the physical body. So any illness someone has, any pain they have, there's an imbalance in the portal. The energies come out of the portal inside of the energy body. But I hope I answered the question.
That was amazing. Angela, are you a portal?
No doubt. No doubt. We all are. And I feel like when I'm creating, when I'm being creative, I'm receiving
opening up
ideas. I'm receiving ideas. That's why eliminating fear is so important, because, there's a lot of there it goes.
You see, she's not entitled yet. That's why she got that noise. I was getting noise in my background.
You heard that siren? Because I pushed the mute.
Yeah, the siren was just crazy.
That was crazy. I pushed the mute button.
It's so it's great though. But yeah, of course we are. Of course we are. Yeah. Everybody is. But I'm very much in a receptive mode now. Jeff and I have been doing some work in the stop, drop, and roll. I've just really eliminated something that was holding me back, like a constant background noise that was constantly sabotaging me, even though I would be like swatting flies. But it's allowed me to be a portal to creativity and to originality. And I'm getting ideas just like, oh my God, am I big enough for that idea, for that assignment? And I'm recognizing that I'm on assignment here. I'm not just surviving. I'm not just hanging out. I'm on assignment, and I'm like, I'm accepting my assignment. And it's just this is a very amazing time for me. So, yeah, I totally accept being a receptor, being a portal, being a channel for God. Yes.
We all are, just a matter of us getting out of our way and being able to get in touch with that divinity that's in us and not be afraid when it shows up and you say, oh shit, am I big enough for it? The question is, how are you small? I mean, I used to tell people sometimes at seminars, who in the F are you to get in the way of God using you? I used to say this sometimes, but I would curse. I would say the word, who in the F for you to get in the way of God using you? Because God wants to show us off. He wants to show us off. It's us that get in the way of allowing him to do that, but God wants to show us off. That's why every once in a while you get a spark of your greatness and you say, wow, I did that. But then people say, okay, that was enough. I can't take any more. So I'm more comfortable being this way than stepping into this new me. It's like I tell people also that all your prayers are answered. I believe prayers are answered. I believe that as a human, your humanity has to change the vibration to reach the vibration of the prayer in order for you to manifest it as a human being. But the prayers are being answered. You're just not at the vibration to receive it yet. You have to get your frequency high enough so you receive the prayer that you've been praying for, and then everything else will fall into place and it'll manifest. Because it all starts in the crown chakra. Remember, the crown chakra is here, and your manifestation is the base chakra.
Right.
So anything you want starts up here. It has to go through a chakra system before it manifests and becomes reality.
Right. But it's also not a cakewalk. You know, you realize, okay, I'm gifted. I have potential. I have
wait.
so many.
What makes it not a cakewalk, though? What makes it not a cakewalk?
Okay, let me say this. That when you get a vision, when I get a vision, it's like now it's time to work and to follow that up. I mean, you did not come. I mean, you're like loaded with gifts, and yet you know that you've had to make choices, man.
Yes.
You had to leave advertising. You had to leave a lucrative career, go up into the Himalayas, go through like unbelievable changes. You've gone through so many challenges that would have really broken a lot of people, Jeff. It's amazing. And you've come out better with each thing. And I mean, sometimes I'm like, you know, watching you go through some of this stuff, you know, but you do come out of it like more powerful, more gifted, more blessed. And it spreads to more people because everything you have, you give it away. I see it all the time. So, I mean, that's how you created this huge community. I mean, it's just you teaching, giving, sharing, you know, there's people that would be afraid of like giving that much away, you know, but you're not, because you keep receiving, you know. So you work really hard. You study, you practice, you know, you're gifted, you're intuitive, you're also experienced. And I saw that with you when I first met you as a martial artist. Because my brother said you work hard, like you're really a serious dude when it came to the martial arts, you know. And I see you carrying that spirit like a warrior, like not like a violent warrior, but like a disciplined samurai type of energy.
A
You
violent
have that.
warrior.
Yeah, no, you're very disciplined type of samurai, and you bring that to you. I saw it in you as, you know, in your 20s. I see it in you now, man. It's the same. It's just at an elevated level, you know.
Beautifully said. There's an excellent question from Michelle Tobert. Brother Jeff Free Noble, do you do distant energy healing, Reiki healing? And if so, how do we contact you?
You know, I remember you was talking about Reiki in the very beginning. Sister, I do not do Reiki. I do something called, I do pranic healing, which is another form of energy medicine. And my contact information is going across the screen, and my phone number is there. How to order my book is there, I think. Yeah. So any way you want to contact me, you can, but my phone number is right on the screen. It's just keep going across the screen. Can everybody see that?
Everybody can see it.
Okay. So you just call me at that number, basically, and we could talk about what it is that you want to work on, but it's not Reiki, it's called pranic healing. And I was told by some people that pranic healing is like Reiki on steroids.
It is.
You know,
Very well said.
I'm not a Reiki practitioner, so I can't say that, but some of my Reiki masters that I've trained have said pranic healing is like Reiki on steroids. And it may not be pranic healing you need, it may be something else you need, depends what the problem is, because we come with I come with a plethora of things I can do. It just depends what the problem is. But If you come ready to heal, it'll be done very quickly.
I remember when Jeff and I were in Jamaica with Dick Gregory.
Yes, the Dick Gregory retreat. Yep.
At the, what is it called? The house? The tree house.
Treehouse.
The grill.
Yeah.
At tree house.
I was a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jeff was demonstrating going back in time.
That was powerful.
God bless Dick Gregory. Some of his family have been on the show. And the reply was, thank you so much. You can see the phone number on the screen. And I will be in contact with you, you know. But I remember.
Those were. I remember one thing Dick Gregory told me that changed my life. I remember one night on the beach at 12 midnight, or a little bit after 12, Dick Gregory and I was walking on the beach. Why I was not with a woman, I don't know. I was with Dick Gregory, okay? But there was nothing romantic about it. And I was basically complaining, or my complaint to Dick Gregory was about, I said, you know, Dick, I get more play from Europeans or from white people than I get from black people.
Uh-oh.
I said, it's kind of frustrating because I came into our community to share this information, but my community is not accepting it, or they're fighting it, or whatever it may be. And so I just told him I was really, you know, being disappointed. And Dick looked at me and he said, Jeff Noble, he said, I want you to keep this in mind. I started the Bohemian diet way before anybody was doing this kind of stuff. I started fasting and talking about way before anybody was doing this kind of stuff. He said, you have to realize that you're a farmer, son. That you're a farmer and you're planting seeds. And all the crop is not going to grow at the same time. You may plant a seed now that will come to you, you know, the result of it may be 10 years later before you see it happen. But you're planting seeds right now. Give me 1 second. What's up? I'm on the call now. Uh-huh.
And so I had to use my phone. And I'm still trying to figure out what's going on even with my phone. But you know, is it too late?
You can get on still, but I'm on right. I was just talking, you called. So I'm live talking to you. They're letting me talk to you right now.
And we can hear him. We can hear that's brother Youngblood.
They said they can hear his brother. So what do you need? What do you need?
You tell me what do I need. I guess I would need a check-in number.
I sent you the link. Don't you have it? You want me to send it to you again?
Yes, send it to me again, man. I'm computer literate.
Okay.
Tell them use the blue link. Yeah.
It now.
And Jeff, you know, that's powerful what you said, because
Angela, Jeff, I was trying to sell magnets back in the 80s to our folks. I ended up selling lemonade, and I was good. I made up a jingle, ice cold, homemade, Southern style lemonade, 14 ounces, only 75 cents. I was undercutting everybody. And I had a shopping cart, and I knew how to make a lemonade because my folks are from down south. So, you know, I made the lemonade in a white trash can, but I had a dream, and it was more like a vision.
I've never seen a white trash can before, so I'm laughing.
It was right on Fulton Street. It was and they had white trash can, and I got a shopping cart, and I made the best lemonade, and that's how, because our folks weren't ready. Same thing with reflexology. Went to school for Laura Norman at that time,
right,
for reflexology, and I had a dream or a vision, and then I saw myself doing foot reflexology in a beach chair, having headphones, a foot reflexology sign. And our folks was laughing at me at African Arts Festival back in the day, until a European woman got in the chair. Until a European woman got into the beach chair. And our folks was just watching the European woman and what her expression was when she got up. And then they lined up, and the line never ended when I would open up the beach chair. It's part of the trauma.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Was there a number for Youngblood to call in now? Because I didn't tell him something.
Your phone.
My
if he
phone?
can't figure out, because I'm keeping an eye out. In case he doesn't know how, he could just call you and you put your phone to the mic how you did it, because we could hear him. So we'll give him a minute or two, but that's what sometimes tell us about how far Dick Gregory's wisdom assisted you.
Oh man, I probably would have walked away from the black community by now if it wasn't for Dick Gregory. Because it was very frustrating to continue to pour into the community that's not responding. And when I was in the white community, they was eating it up. They were loving it. They were inviting me back over and over again. You know, when I came to our community, it was a lot harder to get people to even come out. It was not for Gary Bird show and Lloyd Strayhorn show, I wouldn't have even been in the black community probably. But Gary Bird put me on a show quite often. Every time I was doing something almost. And then we would get like hundreds of phone calls, after the show. Angela remember because she was there, returning to most of the phone calls. And then Lloyd Strayhorn had me on his show. So it's been, that's the way it's been working. So
awesome.
Since I've been in the black community.
That also happened to Kalindi Aye in the introduction of and showing the ancient use of mushrooms in ancient Egypt for heightened awareness. He was not embraced by our folks. He was embraced by the Europeans. Without further ado, Reverend Youngblood, welcome to Magnets, Crystals, Pyramids with Jeff, Angela, and the family listening in.
Hello, family listening in, and Hank Rising Sun. It's good to know that your sun is still rising.
Man, I feel more like Uncle Hanky than Rising Sun nowadays, but it's all good.
Well, I just turned 78, so I'm grandpa.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Glad you joined us. We here, we was going down memory lane with Brother Jeff and Angela. Angela, you know Brother Youngblood?
I am familiar with Brother Youngblood. Many years ago, I worked for Renaissance Development Corporation, and I met you when you were just beginning a housing project. And I'm trying to think, Congressman Major Owens. I was working with Congressman Major Owens, and we went to open a ribbon cutting ceremony of one of the first projects you did. I know this girl named Lisa Cave, and her mom was also part of that. I forget her mother's name, but yeah, I remember you from Brooklyn. I was working right there where Mike Tyson grew up, in that neighborhood. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing.
VR Brownsville Recreation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brownsville.
Yeah, good seeing you again.
Thank you.
All right. Jeff, you good?
Hey, man, I'm better than good.
All right. All right.
Better than good. So
I remember when you used to have firewalks, Reverend Youngblood,
at your church, and Jeff would have folks walking across. Family, listen, he would have folks walking barefoot across the coals at the church. Tell us about that, please.
You want me to tell you about it? Well, we have this marvelous presentation that we put together called the Ma'afa. And it was a week of just a lot of wonderful stuff. And Jeff came along. I heard about Jeff from one of my parishioners who's now living in Georgia. And she was telling me what a great guy he was and is. And he came along talking about the firewalk. And I had only heard about the firewalk from, what's his name in California? Tony
Robbins.
Tony Robbins. I'd only heard about the firewalk from him. And so I slipped into the sanctuary that night that Jeff was there for some male and female counseling. And I just sat in the back, to try to pick up on who he was. The member had bragged about him so. And lo and behold, he mentioned the firewalk. And I'm like, okay, I don't know about this. But we talked, and Jeff talked to me, convinced me, and, my prayerfulness gave me the courage to take a chance. And I took a chance. We did the firewalk in the back of the sanctuary. People were back there. The coals were out. In fact, one of the things that happened that night, and Jeff remembers this, is it began to rain. And Jeff said, we can stop the rain. I'm like, oh, Lord, what are we going to do now? He's going to stop the rain. And sure enough, the rain stopped. And we went out. And the most convincing thing was there was a 6-year-old kid who walked the coals. And I'm like, well, I'm the pastor. And, I'm a grown man. And that kid gave me the courage. He fought his mother and walked those coals. And when that kid walked across those coals, I said, I got to go. Now, I'll tell you something else that happened. And that is I was married at the time. And I said to my wife, I said, come on, let's walk the coals. She said, you must be out of your mind. So I guess that's when my divorce began that night. But it was an experience. Every year we did it. And the thing that certified me even more that Jeff was authentic and he took good care of us. He knew there was a risk, but that's why he took extra care of me and my people. I don't remember the numbers that walked, Jeff. Do you?
Together? I mean, all the nights, over 1,000 people all together. Because the first night, most people came out to watch.
Yep.
It was about 600 that night.
Yeah.
I think about 400 of them ended up walking. It was 16 people said they would walk. It ended up being about 400 people that walked that first night. And then they told other people about it. So next time we did it, it was even longer. We had to get remember, we had to create 2 and 3 lines at one time.
We did.
So
and
we had thousands of people that walked.
Yeah. And when, what was his name from California?
Tony Robbins still?
No, I'm sorry, from DC. Ed Nichols.
Oh, Ed Nichols, yes.
Yeah, Ed Nichols, who's now 90 something. I don't know what.
94, I think.
Yeah, he took his shoes off, and he said, "I must be crazy." Well, all the while he's taking the shoes off, he said, "I must be crazy." He said, "I'm crazy. I don't know why I'm doing this." And Ed Nichols walked those coals, and all people. Great church word, all people testified about was some kind of change that went on in them by taking that opportunity and that chance.
Well, you didn't tell them who Ed Nichols is, because most people probably don't even know who Ed Nichols is.
It's kind of hard to talk about Ed Nichols. He speaks for himself. He was the first director. He was the Black director of a clinic, a psychiatric clinic. I think it was Germany or somewhere.
It was Germany.
And it was Germany?
Yeah.
All right. And Ed Nichols did that work, a wonderful man. And then he left and came back to the States. And somebody started asking for somebody like him. And they called the place in Germany, and the people in Germany said, "You got one of the greatest guys right there in the United States." They said, "We've never heard of him." And Nichols says, "Well, that's because he was Black. But other than that, they would have heard about it." But right. Ed Nichols walked, and it was a marvelous experience. And I think Jeff and I are both consenting that it's about time for another one.
Another one of what?
Firewalk.
You say another what? That's like 20 years ago, right, Reverend Youngblood?
The last time we did it was probably about 20 years ago, right?
It was more than 20 because I've been at Mount Pisgah 20, and we did it before I left St. Paul.
Yeah. Well, y'all go ahead.
So that's about 30 years ago.
I'll meet you on the other side.
I'm safer with 30, Hank. We're safer with 30.
Wow.
That's a lot of work. Do you know, it's a tremendous amount of work to prepare people for a firewalk. A tremendous amount of work. because most of the people in there are thinking that someone's going to get burnt, that they're going to get burnt, that something's going to happen negative. So you have to be able to shift all that energy around. So the people who do have the intention of walking are not influenced by the negative energy of the other people.
Holy barbecue.
That's a lot. That's a lot of a holy barbecue, and it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. I'm usually done for at least a week or two, a week to 10 days after I do a firewalk. This takes everything I have to be able to get people at a high frequency, so they do not get burned. Who's saying yes? Another firewalk? Yeah, okay. See, it's always easy when you don't have to do the preparation. All you do is come and walk. I'm the one that goes through the preparation, the fasting, they trying to get everybody together, getting the drummers together, getting the people that's going to burn the coals together, getting all that stuff together. I'm the one that goes through all that. So right now, I'm not feeling doing a firewalk. Maybe sometime in the future, maybe I will. But at this moment right now,
bro, I can see you in front. A firewalk right in front of your office on Fulton and Franklin, because all them folks would love to see that.
Yeah. No, that would be too much work, because then you got to get all kind of permits from the city. The advantage of doing it in the church is that we're able to use the parking lot. So we have to get all the stuff we would have got if you want to do it on the city, close down the city block to do it. It's a whole different animal than doing it in the parking lot. And even then, we had people from the fire department there. There's a fire truck outside. There were people on board just in case something happened. No one got burned or blistered. And the people that did get any type of blister at all, which was very minor, the blister always occurred in the area of their body that was weak.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, Hank, what we'll do is we'll just keep his feet to the fire.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you a foot massage with some water after you finish.
Hey, I'll be there.
But Youngblood has seen the growth and everything else. And you said you wanted to ask him about, the growth, and you want to come on and talk about the growth of the Noble Touch, or Jeff Noble, as he sees it through his eyes. And so, Rev, you can tell the truth. You can tell how messed up I am and everything else. Go ahead, tell the truth.
Well, if I tell the truth, I can't say you're messed up. The bottom
mess me up then.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've talked about is the fact that you've kind of been pretty much so rejected by the average congregation or pastor around this whole business of energy healing. And I just didn't see it that way. I just didn't see it that way. And I grew up, one of the philosophies I grew up under was nothing beats a failure but a try. And in my getting involved with Jeff around this business of energy healing, I just turned 78 on Tuesday. And I go places and people say, well, you don't act a certain kind of way. And I have to contribute some of that to my work with Jeffrey Vincent Noble and the Noble Touch. And I've seen Jeff reach in to people and corral them as a group and help them to get in touch with this possibility in them. On this past Saturday, Jeff was there with many of us, and we did a special thing for brothers. And what he did is he had brothers to work on brothers on Saturday. And then for Father's Day, he did a special where the sisters worked on brothers. And, because I work on Sunday, I missed that healing session. So I'll have to
I sent you the video.
Okay, I can get it from the video?
Yeah, I said, yeah.
But Jeff, ain't nothing like the real thing.
I like the way you said that. I like the way you said that.
No, I believe in Jeff. I believe in energy healing. I think I've had experiences in terms of my own physicality, in terms of conditions, memories. I remember one particular thing that I had a strange, almost non-feeling in both of my hands. And we were at a church, not St. Paul, But down from St. Paul, we had so much going on there that we took it down to another place. And I said to Jeff, Jeff, I don't know what it is, but it's like there's a numbness that grips me from elbow to fingertips in both hands. And I didn't know what that was all about. And Jeff worked with me, and I really don't remember now when it was that I had that condition.
Awesome. Awesome.
Family, like, subscribe, and share. This is powerful. You got people chiming in. Look at here. My young children and I did participate in the firewalk. It was very enlightening with flames.
Hit a fire.
Yeah. You have all of us healer at the Noble Touch.
You have all of us healer at the Noble Touch. Okay.
I would love to see it on Franklin Avenue because I think all of those winos over there would be blown away, brother.
Either blown or burned away.
Yeah.
They might turn a new leaf and say, wait a second.
Yeah. But honestly, with Jeff, you know, he talks about preparation. You know, he has to prepare himself, and he has to work on the doubts and fears, you know, of the people as well. So there is trust in this. And I'm glad to be a man of experience with this healing modality.
I want to see him do some levitation and walking on water, even if we start with a puddle, because there's no telling. If you could deal with the element of fire, that's just opening. You could deal with water and air, and there ain't no telling. What do you think of that, Angela?
Yes, I'm really interested, Jeff. I know you were working on a proposal to work with children in the school system. Have you begun to do that, or, you know, how's that going? And I mean, have you done some trainings with children, like teaching children to do healing?
We've done some work through Youth Mindfulness Mastery Program, which Leslie runs, basically. And we have done some small workshops with children in our, what I call the beta stage. We've been into some schools. We went to I think the 5th, 6th and 7th grade classrooms and taught things there also about healing and about how to prepare for exams and not be nervous, how to get rid of the stress you feel when preparing for the exams. So we've done some of that work already, and that's just this as infant stages. So it will continue to grow. As we grow, it will continue to grow with us. So yeah, something said about the firewalk also. I don't remember now, but it'll come back. You know, but we have started, working with kids.
That's hot, man. If you show children how to do a firewalk, and then say,
I don't know about a firewalk.
Imagine.
But we had kids that did the firewalk. At the church, we had kids that. The 6-year-old was just one of them. There was a bunch of kids that did the firewalk that night.
Yeah. The 6-year-old was up front.
Right.
You know, everybody was waiting back to see who was going to get consumed in the fire or whatever. And the kid just started walking. And I remember his mother, you know, and, you know, that happens with sisters, boy, their children take off. You know, they will drop crutches to run after their children. And this kid stepped off in that path of hot coals, and she screamed, and the kid kept running.
Yo, that could have been a great videotape. I don't know if we didn't have that technology back then. Oh man.
Yeah, we had fun, you know, but you know, Reverend Youngblood's the one person that's always accepted my gifts and gave me platforms, and when people were closing their doors, he opened his door. When we had no place to go, he let us use his church. I mean, now we have our own space, but you know, the church is, I mean, Youngblood's always gonna be my pastor. And he understands that he's just open. He's not like most pastors that, you know, they're very closed. I had one pastor tell me that, you know, healing was not a priority to him in the church, yet Jesus was a healer. So it's like, you know, and that's the way a lot of churches feel, that they want to claim that Jesus, and I don't know, me and Reverend haven't gotten a discussion about this lately, But my claim is that how do I know that Jesus healed through prayer? Because I still haven't found the scripture in the Bible where it shows me that Jesus healed through prayer. So Jesus was doing some other things besides prayer. I mean, he spit on the ground, put somebody's eyes. Somebody put your hand in your coat, put it back out. So that's not prayer as we are taught to pray in church. So I think that prayer, along with other things that God has given people gifts to do, is the answer, to combine it, not to eliminate one thing or the other, but to combine all the gifts that God has put in our hands.
The first
killing prayer in action or active prayer.
Reverend Youngblood,
yes, sir.
I first met you when you had your church practicing laugh therapy. Tell us about that.
Well, that was years ago, and I still, when I think about it, I have to crack up a little bit because I couldn't believe that people could just start laughing, And the gentleman, what's the? There was a place in Virginia. What was his name? A well-known kind of healer, not African American. Oh man.
You mean I know you're talking about oh man, he has a place on 14th Street. He had a place on 14th Street. Edgar Casey.
Casey, that's right. Casey was the one. And I heard about this laughing modality. And I declare unto you, the guy who led it, it was a white guy, he led it. And we were so busy laughing at him laughing that it made us laugh. And
that's
literally,
right.
Yeah, and literally, the whole body temperature and rhythms, of the heart and everything. And we did it. We did it. And nobody was hurt by it. It might be good to bring back. I need to find out if it's still going on. I don't think the Casey organization is as operative now as it was then.
Leslie does it.
She does?
Yeah, well, we're taught it. We're taught it as part of prayer and healing. We're taught to do the laughing Buddha is what we call it.
Wow.
We're taught that in prayer and healing, laughing Buddha. But I don't. Yeah. I do it, but Leslie does it. Leslie would be better lead it than I would because she just starts laughing for real. And I'm like you. I'm like, what's so damn funny? Ah ha ha, ah ha ha. And then after a while, like you said, it becomes contagious, and you catch on. But
they teach it in China, in the big squares in China. They will have hundreds of people gathering at a time to do it, almost like a Tai Chi thing, where people just flow into it, but they follow the instruction, and people just start laughing. It's really amazing.
Wow.
And I'm looking at you now, Reverend, and you must have had some good laughs because you looking strong there, brother. I gotta tell you.
Thank you, Hank.
You must be best friends with Red Fox or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I feel good these days. I've just returned from New Orleans. That's the place of my birth. And I walked into my brother, he has a barbershop. I walked into his barbershop and he looked at me and he said, "Yes, can I help you?" I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean? Can you help me?" He said, "Man, is that you?" He said, "If I had seen you on the street, I wouldn't have recognized you." And my brother's younger than I am.
Wow.
And, with all of the healing that I've tried to reach out, this business that Jesus talks about becoming whole, I feel a peculiar honor in my father giving me the last name Youngblood.
Wow.
I really feel an honor in that. So I feel if I'm a Youngblood, I ought to act like it.
And
I'm going to say, Reverend Youngblood, and I'll say this with Jeff and Angela and the whole audience, thank you for your youthful, adventurous ministry that you've provided, such as Jeff doing fire walks. You was on cutting edge of healing modalities that a lot of other churches are too spooky to address. And
he had a healing ministry when I came to the church.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring him the healing ministry. He had one when I got there. So he was just open to what I did also. But most churches are not going to do a healing ministry. Most churches are more afraid of what their congregation is going to say and what they're going to do. There's a church that we were in, and we were doing a healing work, getting great results. This is a different church, and then the other one I saw before. And because there's some older people in the church that gives a lot of money to the church, they did not want it in the church, and they asked us to leave.
Wow.
So there have been a number of churches that we've been asked to leave because I guess the results are not good enough. But, you know, how do you say you're following Jesus and don't have a healing ministry? That's crazy to me.
Wow, that's powerful. So
Well,
thank you, Reverend Youngblood.
Do you remember Devia?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Devia was my meditation teacher.
Wow.
She was my meditation teacher. And I kind of got close to this whole business of psychotherapy while in seminary. And when I look back at it now, and Jeff, you know, you and I talk whenever we get a chance to talk, but I'm thinking now that I'm running into, and I almost say it with tears, I'm running into so much church hurt. There's so much church hurt where churches have hurt people. You know, that, you know, I mean, we got cancer and all of these other things, but sometimes I think that we need to work on the church hurt. And one of my arguments is when people want to, you know, talk to me about even my language, you know, the street language that I use from the pulpit and otherwise, my thing is that it's therapeutic. I mean, yeah, I mean, Hank, I hope you won't get kicked off.
No, bro. Let it rip.
A great
testify.
A great big fuck you is a relief. If I praying for my enemies, I do that. I do that in my own way. But every now and then my enemy needs to hear, go to hell, even though I'm supposed to be directing them to heaven. And it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
And then the awful embarrassment that I have about most of churches is that our sick list is longer than our membership rolls.
You got folks agreeing with you.
Again.
Say it again, Rev.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about Jesus being the great physician. He's the great physician. And yet our sick list is longer than our membership rolls.
Wow. Wow. So
what you want to do?
Tune in to every and anything that Jeff Vincent Noble is doing. I follow him on this. All right. I try to open a few doors for him, but at the same time, I have been able to send people for meditation, brought Devia in before she passed away. I've sent people to foot reflexology to study that, you know, to help people to live. People have gotten.
I think I remember.
Hey, you know, I've gotten them into massage. One of my young men who grew up under me just turned 50. I went to see him the other day. He is a doctor of acupuncture. You know, they've gotten into natural cooking and things like that. And I'll tell you, my weight is down, and everybody has noticed it, mainly because. Was that intentional?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. my weight is down, and you know, people have been asking, how did you get your weight down? And Jeff, I'm telling you that because I need some clothes, so you may have to take me shopping, you know, to buy me some clothes that'll fit. All right, but the way, honestly, I was praying about it. I am a man of prayer unapologetically. I don't pray like other people pray or other Christians pray, but I pray And since God knows the deep secrets of every heart and the contents of every mind, ain't no sense in me trying to lie to God, because if I don't talk to him, I'm mad at him. So I'm still talking to him. So one of the things that happens at our churches, and I'm involved in a program now, I don't want to call the name of the program for certain reasons, but what happens is churches cook all the time. We cook, we cook, we cook, we cook. Oh, we cook, we cook, we cook. All right? And what's interesting is if you stand around and watch the people receive the food, there's macaroni and cheese, there's potato salad, you know, there's fried chicken, there's ham, you know. And the worst part of it is this, is we not just they, we load our plates with food. And when we load our plates with food, we be saying, now I know I ain't got no business eating all of this. Now, wait a minute. I got a plate full of food and I know I ain't got no business eating it. It's cooked in church. I'm eating it in church. Can I tell you the major contradiction and insult? I ain't got no business eating this. But, so we sit down and we pray, Lord, bless this food I'm about to receive for the nourishment of our body. And you just finished saying you know you ain't got no business eating it. You're tempting God. And so I learned a prayer. I believe the Holy Spirit gave me a prayer. And my prayer is, Lord, thank you for appetite. For my appetite. For my appetite. If I thank God for appetite, then, you know, God knows that I'm still in touch with him. And then we know that when you don't have an appetite, you sick.
Oh, yeah.
So the appetite comes from God. So if we can get God to influence our appetite again, not just because it tastes good, but because it is good. And so I thank him for appetite. Then I thank God for my body. Do you know how confused Christians are about their bodies? We have, our faith is incarnate. The word was made flesh. God became a man. And we are taught overall to hate our bodies. So I thank him for my appetite. I thank him for provisions as well. This is what I do from a biblical theological perspective. Do you realize that murder, fornication, adultery, whatever sin you want to choose, it all came as a result of miseating.
Wow.
The first sin, if you really want to trail it to that, the first sin was miseating.
I never thought of that.
Out of miseating, Cain killed Abel.
Wow.
And so there's something in that for me as a spiritual person. As a spiritual person. And, you know, that has helped me with my appetite, with the amount that I eat. And y'all know, I'll say this, y'all know that you can recognize the average black preacher. His belly looks like he's about 9 months, about to drop any minute. And the congregation feeds us to death and will still tell us we need to back off the table. But if you don't eat when they invite you to the house, they get upset.
They get insulted.
They get insulted. I mean, they want you to not only pack it in, but they want to give you stuff to take home for the rest of the week. One of my good friends in California, great guy, a really great guy. He was asked to pray after having been invited to a home. He was praying, and in his prayer, he used the biblical phrase. He said, Lord, if there be any deadly thing in this food. We pray that you would take it away. The woman of the house almost lost her mind. She couldn't believe he was accusing her of trying to poison him.
Wow.
And it's a biblical phrase. So, you know, there are these things that we do not look at, you know, as well as this awful kind of thing we've been through in this country, all based on our skin pigmentation. But the church, we still have a way to go. I will say that I'm a critical lover of the church, and I treat the church like I treat the New York Lotto. And the only way you can talk to me about the church, like the New York Lotto, you got to be in it to win it. So if you ain't in it, don't say shit about the church. But if you're in it, you can criticize as long as you're going to do better. And see, Jeff has not left the church. He's just extended it.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
I like that too. I never thought about it like that, but to me, everybody knows that my work's in ministry. And I told you all before, my scripture is Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed by the ways of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. If every black person in America did that, we'd be a powerful people. If we all renewed our mind. If our athletes had the wherewithal or the guts to renew their minds, you know what? We leave in the NBA. We leave in national. I'm not saying they should, but if they did that and walked away and did their own thing, that's renewing the mind. And it'll make a whole lot of people upset.
Wow.
If there's things we can do to renew our minds and to reclaim our throne and leave this American nightmare alone. You heard that before, Pastor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For the millions.
Yep.
I think,
Reverend, I think you on to something with the laugh therapy. And now they're coming out with this information about the cells being renewed by laughter.
Well, we have this little song that we sing. I'm not sure Leslie's not on. I would tell her to sing it for you. But the song goes something like, let me show you Leslie can get on, because she likes to sing it off. As a matter of fact, I got a video of us singing it, but I can't show the video on here, that's right. But the song goes like this. Every little cell in my every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body. You can change the words around and play with it.
Wow, that's powerful.
No, but I'll tell you what. If you just sing it 3 times, your whole body will come alive.
Yeah.
You feel your whole body come alive. I'm telling you, I'm gonna lead it for everybody because Leslie's not here. I'm gonna lead it. Y'all ready? Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I can tell. Every little cell in my body is well. That's the jazzy version.
Yo, we're going to do something with that, Jeff. We're going to do something with that.
Hank, you're forgetting I'm a preacher. When you finish singing, you raise the offering.
Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
You know, what is his name? Ralph Carter?
Yeah.
All right, Ralph Carter taught us a song at St. Paul. And I really appreciated him for it. And here the one he taught us was like, I love myself deep down inside. I love my hair and I love my eyes. I love my nose and I love my lips. I also love my 10 fingertips. I love my skin, it's melanin smooth. We come in many shades of black, you would love us too. We're getting our love energy rays from the sun up above. We're first world Africans, we're number one.
Woo!
Every little cell in my body. You sing both of them
That's
together.
right.
Go ahead,
That's
do
right.
it. Good.
That's right. Jeff, let's set up a concert for help.
And we got to have a little boing today.
Hey.
That is,
But did
and
you
it
feel
works.
the audience, or did you feel the difference when you start singing it? Your audience, I'm asking you too. Did you feel the difference when you start singing it though?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it appears at first just to be funny and cute.
Right.
But as you get serious about it, it's like our bodies hear us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
What you
And
say in church? You speak into existence?
That's right.
And you know, I made a song about that, Reverend, and I'm going to share a piece of it. Hold on a second.
All right, Angela, you next. You got to come with something, Angela. Everybody get a song.
This I put Reverend Youngblood and Jeff. I did this song, and I didn't know we was going to chime in on it, but I'm going to pull it up for just a little bit so y'all can hear. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. Listen, and it's called Healing to the Bone.
Mm.
Here we go.
Yes, I am not thankful. Yes, I am not forgiving all life. Yes, I am not all life forgiving me.
Yes, I am now restored to all I am. Yes, I am now whole in all my soul. Yes, I am happiness.
That's a healing pool.
Yes, I am feeling I am whole.
Yes, I am loving all of me. Yes, I am feeling my divinity. Yes, I am loving every part of me. Yes, I am to the bone.
Yes, I am now restored to all I am. Yes, I am now whole in all my soul. Yes, I am happiness in my heart. Yes, I am feeling I am whole.
Yes, I am now healed. Yes, I am now thankful. Yes, I am now forgiving all life. Yes, I am now all life forgiving me.
Yes, I am now restored to all I am. Yes, I am now whole in all my soul. Yes, I am happiness in my heart. Yes, I am feeling I am whole.
I think we are, you know, maybe we're being guided with all this. This is amazing.
I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, Angela, it's your turn.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything, guys. You guys are the choir. I'm just listening.
Hank, where do I get the lyrics to that, man?
You just go to my YouTube channel, and I'll just send the links to you, Jeff, so you can send it to Reverend Youngblood. But you can come to my YouTube channel. I got a lot of healing songs, Reverend. I just did one about the sacred words "I am that I am" and tying it in to our African ancestry.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, you want me to give a little piece? I'm asking Jeff because it's his show.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I have an I Am Fellowship on Saturday mornings. First Saturday of every month, I have an I Am Fellowship.
Get what? We're on the same page. Okay, here, I'm going to pull it up now. This, and Reverend and Jeff, I do a prayer circle, but we call it Healing Pool Party every Tuesday. So, you know, you're welcome to join. And what we do is everybody focus on one person at a time to send healing energy And the key words is I am for the person. And this is the song here that created. Here we go. Hold on. This is so that we can appreciate that I am message, because you already know I ain't gonna preach to the choir, but a lot of us need to integrate. So let me just share this shortly. Here it is, and it's called telomere renewal. In other words, cell renewal. And let me start it up.
Look more, I am that I am love, joy, happiness.
Look, who I am that I am life, knowledge, wisdom, and divine direction. Look, second, I am that I am power, miracle, strength.
Look more,
second, who do I?
Look more,
second, who do I?
Okay.
Do you have an album, Hank?
I never knew, Reverend Youngblood, Jeff, that I would be getting on AI with my writings and letting it flow like that, Angela. And I love bringing those I am messages, because I was first inspired by Muhammad Ali when he said, I am the greatest.
That's my idol.
Our idol. Yep. And he said, I said it until I believed it.
Well,
I need a playlist, Hank.
I got you, Jeff.
All
I'll
right.
send it to you, and you can send it to Rev, because I got about 90 songs, and most of it is inspirational, because they did us a number, family, with the hijacking of our music from back in the 70s and 80s to make it self-destruction, and they didn't do it to their own communities. So I said, I'm going to use every resource so that we can tune back up and renew ourselves, as I say, to the bone. And this is a picture of our music, what it does. Like that song you just sang, Jeff, that is known to renew the telomeres or renew the cells, like here in the DNA in this picture. And when we talk bad and we say anything less than good, it destroys our chromosomes, like over here on the right-hand side. So that's why your message, Jeff, and your message, Reverend, and the way this is happening tonight is so needed.
Well, we've been going off about 2.5 hours. I would like to end with, since we're talking about I am, with once again giving people, first of all, I thank Reverend Youngblood for coming on tonight, and for Angela Salgado, who's just in New York for a couple of days, for coming on, and Hank for inviting me. And I'd like to just end with two things. Number one, reminding people that my book is on Amazon, that it is only 99 cents right now, and that they can get it and have a blueprint and have a self-rescue manual the rest of their lives. Because I can guarantee if you follow the blueprint and stop, drop, and roll, you can use that over and over again in any aspect of your life, and you will begin to stop the bullshit, drop the habits and the peoples and the freaking excuses, and roll into a life of no regrets, or roll into a life of living your dreams. because being an elder in the church, I sat by many bedsides and heard people talk about what they wish they would have done if they had a little longer. They wish they would have done that. And they have all these regrets when they feel when they're on their way home. And I decided a long time ago, I was not going to live my life like that. That I was going to be slid into a box. I'm going to be going to the casket. I'll be all used up. There won't be nothing left for anything to attack. If they put me on the ground for no bugs, there's not going to be anything left. I'm going to be all used up. And so I encourage other people to live their life like that. And Stop, Drop, and Roll was a reflection of how I lived my life. But now I had a way to codify it, which I didn't have before. I was just doing things and making stuff happen. And, you know, Pastor one time accused me of having a fuck it attitude. And I do when I got to get shit done. I just say, well, you know, fuck it. I got to do what I got to do and make it happen. And so that's what happened. And this book is a reflection of all that stuff. Plus there's stories to go up with almost everything everything I've done. You know, I'm very proud of the fact that Reverend Youngblood helped us make #1 in 23 different categories on Amazon, because he didn't think it was robbery on Mother's Day to stop the service and announce that I had a book coming out and have someone stand up in the front of the congregation, tell people how to order it right then and there on the spot. Now, you know, that's not the average pastor. That's not the average pastor. They ain't gonna do that.
That's what you know, Reverend Youngblood, you kind of radical, man. You know, you could be Reverend Outlaw Youngblood Outlaw.
I think some of you rubbed off on me, Hank.
Jeff, somebody said, please ask Brother Noble if you can get an ebook copy. It says it will be delivered Kindle. I don't have Kindle.
So what happens is that if you order by Kindle, I mean, if you order it anyway, and you show us that you ordered it by giving us a receipt from Kindle, although you're not going to get it from Kindle, we will send you the paperback copy. We will send you a digital copy, first of all. The paperback will probably be out about 3 weeks later, but we'll send you a digital copy, because there are people who said they don't have Kindle, but they ordered it anyway. And so when they send us the receipt, we're just going to send them a digital copy of the book. And now the thing about it also has a companion manual with it now also, which is about 40 pages. So now you have like even a journal to write in that we've created that's going to be going out after June 20th also. I mean, June 30th, because June 30th is the launch date. And I just want to invite everybody to purchase the book. You will not be disappointed. Angela, you said you've been going through the book, right?
Yes, working with it as I'm doing my writing and like going over certain sections, because I read it differently each time I read it. So yeah, it's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to the workbook. Oh, wow.
You know, the workbook's coming out, and I'm going to do workshops. I'm going to do some workshops to go with it, a master class to go with it. So I'm really going to support people in doing this, because the one thing no one can ever question about me, and I always say, is my faith. And I say that because all my life, I worked commission only. From the time I was in my 20s, I've never had a job where I got paid a salary at all. The first time I ever got money that's been consistent when I knew it was coming in was Social Security. But before that, I never knew where my next dime was coming from. And I have made a lot of sacrifices and everything else to do what God called me to do. And God has not failed me. You know, even when I was, about to lose my apartment and had no money, and the sheriff was at my door, I had a week before I was going to auction, God came through. He had someone giving me the money to make it. So I have a tremendous amount of faith, not just in God, but also in your ability to tap into the same things I've into. I have faith in the people, that they can be a lot more than they think they are, and that they just let the humanity outweigh their divinity. But the divinity is still there. It's going to always be there. You're going to always be connected to God, whether you want to or not. You're going to be connected until they take you home. And then your spirit is still going to be somewhere else. It's not people, I don't know about this heaven and hell stuff the way other people talk about it. I have my own experience, what I think it's about. But that's for another time, other space. But I would like to end, because we've been talking about I am, with my I am affirmation meditation. We got time for that, Brother Hank?
Yo, I am blown away that we're all having the same page of saying I am. So please do, Brother Jeff.
Okay, so those that will, you can close your eyes, you keep them open.
You want some instrumental background?
If it's really low.
Yeah. I can adjust it and you tell me if it's good enough.
Meditative.
Yes. All right, hold on. Let me tell me if this is okay. I
can work with that.
That's called
Harlem Summer Drive.
Okay, well, I'm from Harlem, so I'm born and raised in Harlem, still live in Harlem, so here I am. You can close your eyes if you will. And just take a deep breath in and exhale twice as long as you inhale. Take another deep breath in and exhale twice as long as you inhaled. Just be aware of your feet and your calves and your thighs, your torso, your arms, your neck, head. Be aware of the temperature, of the way it feels resting there. As you continue to decide to let go. Because the bottom line is that you are the I am. I'm going to actually repeat this after me the first time, and the second time, you may want to just relax and just listen to me read it to you. Is the balance still good, or is the balance still good before I start doing the I am, or is it too loud, or I need someone else to answer that question? How is the balance between the music and my voice? Angela? It's fine?
It's good. It's good. It's fine.
I'll make sure before I start doing the I am. So repeat after me. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. And really feel what you're saying. I am not the thoughts. I am not the mind. The mind is an instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am connected and one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God. I am one with all. This is the truth, regardless of the capacity of your brain to experience the truth. I am that I am. Now this time I don't want you to repeat it, I just want you to listen. And let these words sink deep into your being and accept them. And just say thank you 7 times before I even start. Just not thank me, thank God. Just say thank you 7 times and say I am super duper receptive. Just show some gratitude for this reading I'm about to do. As I read, once again, Master Choa Kosui's I Am the Soul. You are, family, the I am. You're not your bodies. Your body is nothing more than a shell for the Holy Spirit. You're not your emotions. You may experience emotions, but you are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. Yes, you have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You're not even your mind. Yes, you have a mind, but your mind is the instrument of the soul. You are the I am. You are a spiritual being, family, of divine love, divine power, divine intelligence. You are connected and one with your higher soul. So how do you do that? You are connected and one with your higher soul. Say it 3 times. I am connected and one with my higher soul. And pay attention to your crown chakra, top of your head. I'm connected and one with my higher soul. I am connected and one with my higher soul. You are the I am. Feel it. Be open to it. Say thank you. Show gratitude for being in touch with it. It's one thing to say that we're a spiritual being having a human experience. It's another thing to experience our spiritualness, our divinity, our divineness. You are one with the divine spark within you. You are a child of God. Accept it. You are connected with God. Feel it. You are one with God. Experience it. You are one with all. Expand into it. What does it feel like to be one with all? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you experience when you feel like you're one with God and one with all? And once again, family, this is the truth. Regardless of your brain's capacity to experience the truth. You are the I am. You are the divine spark. You are one with God. You are one with all. You are one with God. You are one with all. And you begin to come back into this time, this space, this dimension, this reality. Knowing that you are the master's piece. There are lots of pieces of art out there by Matisse and Leonardo da Vinci and this artist and that artist they call masterpieces. And they duplicate them. Sometimes they make a print of it or something else to sell to the general public and keep the original intact. But you know what? No one can make a print of you. You are God's masterpiece. And you recognize that, you walk in that, you talk in that, you seeing that, you hearing that, you thinking that, you breathe in that reality. And your whole life begins to change. So I invite you to step from behind the curtains of fear, doubt, and worry, and let God show you off. Because you were born an original, so you dare die a copy. Hank, I thank you for allowing me to come on today with my friends of Jeff. And so thank you for your time. And God bless you all. Any final words from you, Hank, or anything?
I am blown away, my Sag brother, Angela. And I want to thank the whole audience because what you shared, Jeff, you got to come back again. You have to come back again because your message has to be heard again. And Reverend Youngblood must have ran out to his battery. And I'm just going to, we're going to go just close out with this short song
because what you said tonight, it needs to be heard more and more. So you got an open invitation to come back anytime. If you want to schedule like monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, it's needed in the world that we are in today. So you got an open invitation, my brother.
Or if I come back anytime soon, I will probably go over different sessions of the book, give people more of an idea of exactly what's covered in the book. Because it's even, Angela's even more than it was when you got the copy. You got, yeah, it's even more than that now.
So let me know. You got my full support. And Angela, it was a pleasure listening to you tonight with your smile and your stories. I want to thank everybody who shared comments. I want to thank Reverend Youngblood. Folks are loving the show.
Thank you.
You know, you touch people's hearts.
Thank you.
You know, I'm just looking at you dropped the mic. You know, fantastic. Learned so much. You know, I mean, it's just rolling in, man. So we're gonna go out with a song, and I hope this is something that you can relate to. Because Brother Jeff, my brother, my brother. Here we go.
Okay.
Our purpose is to know thyself, leading to the greatest self-realization secret. This awesome truth, purposely kept from your knowing, your true nature is God. A divine fire star lives within your heart, a liquid sphere of ethereal light, a living sea of radiantly burning love fire, divinely gifted within you as your master, magnetic center. Assist each other in remembering and focusing our awareness upon the majestic and magical fire star of your being. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Remember the one law. Whatever you focus on, you become one with and aware of. Focus on your divine fire star as a living ocean of nirvana within your heart. Passionately inhale your focus into the omnipotent sea of divine love. I am that I remember the one law. Whatever you focus on, you become one with and aware of. Focus on your divine fire star as a living ocean of nirvana within your heart. Passionately inhale your focus into the omnipotent sea of divine love.
All right, I am that I am. Nice piece, nice piece. Well, fam, I am out. Brother Hank, once again, thank you. Up, fire engines again. Here we go.
Oh, they on his end. Yeah, they're on his end. Hey, Hank, thank you so much. You're such a sensitive listener. You're a big-hearted guy, man. This was an incredible experience. Incredible.
Night, everybody. Aura hug. Hey, Jeff.
Yo.
Show folks how to do the aura hug.
The aura hug? I just do like this. I ain't got to touch. And I just take everybody inside. So I got a big blanket. My arms like a big blanket. And I put everybody inside my blanket and I just say, oh. Absorb, assimilate, purify, revitalize, transform, and heal across all time, space, dimension, and realities. Absorb, assimilate, purify, revitalize, transform, and heal across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Absorb, assimilate, purify, revitalize, transform, and heal across every time, space, dimension, and realities. Your mental body, your emotional body, and your physical body. With thanks and in full faith, and so it is. That's it, bro.
All right. Peace.
Peace.